Hi there, it's Davi Agenda, and today I want to talk about something that a lot of empaths face. And it's whenever you put your energetic shield up, being perceived as cold or being told that you're indeed not empathetic because you're not mirroring what the other person is feeling. You're not dropping down into what they're feeling. And I want to let you know that just because you put an energy field up doesn't mean that you are any of those judgments. It is actually the most compassionate thing that you can do. There was a time where I allowed myself, and I still deal with this, but I know the tools now, where the other person would be feeling something very intensely, and my body would tremble because I was feeling everything that they were feeling. And I became in a state where I couldn't any longer be an objective counterpart in what was happening because I'm feeling the rage too. And what happens is when a person is feeling a lot of an energy, right? So if they're feeling a lot of negativity, and if you allow yourself to also feel all of that negativity, what it's creating is just more of this negativity, right? So it's actually not very helpful. But if the person that has a lot of negativity is then met with a person that has a lot of positivity and has a very strong field up, then whenever this person allows the energy in, or or when this person is perceiving the energy, they're still feeling this, but they're not allowing it to feel the core at them. So say like this part right here is the heart space, and you can sense what this person is feeling, right? You can sense it, but it's not coming in. Like it can't go all the way in and penetrate this. You do have the ability to allow a little bit to come in, but then it starts to, change this from positive to negative. And so then you start having more negative in it. And that can be helpful too, because then you can resonate at a very similar rate, right? So now you have positives and negatives. And so this person is indeed elevating. But whenever you're doing this, like you're being clouded with what the other person is feeling, right? Instead of just seeing it and being like, okay, this is what that person's going. Now, when this negative person is projecting out whatever they're feeling, because that's what happens, right? We have what we're feeling, we're projecting it out. And so they may say things that could potentially hurt you, but if you have your shield up, then you're just going to hear what they're saying. You're going to be able to have the clarity to know, like, oh, this person is saying this because it's negative, not because, or because they're feeling a certain way and they want a reaction and they're realizing that they can't get a reaction from you from the way that they're typically able to. So, whenever you have your bubble up, instead of feeling this overwhelm, and all of this and being disabled, you come into a place where you are peaceful, you have clarity, you have more resilience. You're actually able to endure that person's suffering, that conversation, even longer than you would if you were in this disabling state. And I do want to define what an energy bubble is. Right? So, an energy bubble is essentially a shield that you place around yourself. It's a shield, and if you tune into your aura, you can feel where your shield is. Like maybe it's only like right here, but it has the capacity to extend out further and further and further, depending on how strong and how much of a barrier you would want between other people. What's really cool is that Jeffrey Allen has a practice, and it's called a peace rose, right? It's a rose that gives permission for energies to come in or energies to go out, and it stays at the forefront of your energy field. So whenever somebody's coming, and there's an equal distance between your energy and their energy, so they're coming closer to you, it's pushing back, but then you still have what you consented to, right? So if you say, I only want peace and love and abundance and ease to come into your bubble, that's all that's going to penetrate your core that I was talking about, this core where your heart is. this whole sense. And so everything that's outside of that, it'll still be there. You'll still be aware of it. You just won't feel it so at your core where it starts disrupting your nervous system. And another thing I want to let you know is that by putting a shield up, it doesn't mean that you're numb. What I'm explaining is energetic sovereignty. So, where you're sitting in your being and you are in charge. And with practice, it gets easier to hold the shield up. It's not something that, in my experience, I've been able to put up once and be like, okay, this is it. There are times where, because I'm not used to having the shield up, there's parts that will have like little holes in it, and then I'll feel it, and then I get sucked back into the whole being disempowered because I'm feeling it. And then knowing the proper energy tools, I'm able to filter it out and to heal those aspects of my being. And what I talked about in the video yesterday, sometimes I'm taking on energies and I'm transmuting it for the other person, but that doesn't necessarily help the other person, right? Because if it keeps happening, they're gonna just keep having to deal with it, and then you're going to have to keep having to deal with it. So it's more ideal to just shield yourself so that you are able to rise up and to show the person, hey, I know that you're not in the best state right now because of whatever things that are happening, but uh, you have a sense of clarity, so you're able to help that person. And there's this whole thing that happens where it super triggers the other person. I've had multiple experiences of this, and not really understanding how to navigate it. There was one instance where I remember I was like, I really cannot allow myself to feel all of this, right? So I put the shield up. I was pregnant at the time, and I couldn't be in that disabling state anymore because it would like make me physically sick. And so we are on the stairs, and they were trying everything, right? They weren't able to get through the shield, and I was very much just being like, trying to talk through it. And it got to a point where it was everything in the energy world is consent based. So I was basically like, no, I do not accept this. Like, I do not allow that to penetrate me. And they just was like, whoa, what's happening? That's not fair. You're using your power against me. And it's like, well, I'm not using my power against you. I'm just saying, like, if we want to really work on these things, then we need to just leave the energy where it is and allow it to simmer down and not get sucked into the vortex of like wanting the other person to feel your pain so much and thinking that that's the only way that they can resonate with it. And so anyways, what happens is the person gets triggered because they're so used to unconscious empathy. They're so used to people feeling or being empathetic and taking on the wounds and mirroring that for them, and that acts as a note of um, like affirmation that this person truly knows what I'm feeling. This person truly understands my suffering. And they think that when you're not absorbing it, uh, hi, Ryan. I got lost. You got lost? Oh my goodness. What is behind? See that? Yeah. Slide, I just got lost. Yeah. And then you found your way out. That is great. High five. You're gonna do it again? Great. Goodbye. So they're used to unconscious empathy, meaning somebody is reflecting back what they're feeling, so it's affirming. And then when it's not happening, they're viewing it as rejection. When it's really not rejection, it's just that person protecting, and it could actually help the scenario move forward quicker without both people being wounded. I think about like wars and how we all have our opinions on wars. And me being a first generation America, my dad coming here as a refugee, hearing so many stories, feeling the trauma in my DNA, and having to navigate all of that ancestral stuff. It's very much just like, I know that war doesn't work. There has to be somebody not willing to fight. And I'm not saying you go into a conversation and, hi, Rian. I have faith in you. I'm going to finish this video and then play, okay? Okay, just a moment. Uh, where was I? We're at the playground. um, oh, yeah, it doesn't mean that you're going to a situation you don't want resolution. It just means that you're not also equally wanting to be combative. You just want to say, okay, stuff has happened, right? And that's in the past. And the past is now in our imagination, right? You can change the past by your perceptions, even if somebody else says something and like work through all of that, but still it's in the past, right? And you can continue to carry these things in the imagination into the future, or you can say, hey, that didn't work. And hi, Rian. It didn't work. And let's create an action plan to move forward for something that does work. You know, one person has to be willing to stop. And so I have a course up, and right now it's on a discount. Please don't do that. Uh, for like $200 off, and it's a live. It's a 3 week, and I'm going to be teaching practices on how to create your energy shield, how to discern what energies aren't yours. It's a course for empaths, people who want to be energetically sovereign. And the whole intention behind this is to normalize energetic sovereignty, to normalize resolution without everybody getting brutally battered. All right. So the link is in the description below. It's in my bio, and I'll see you guys on the other side later.